It's off air.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. Hello, YouTubers and NFL fans everywhere. This is Matt, the NFL fanatic, welcoming everybody to the NFL YouTube Prognosticators Super Bowl 50 Google Hangout. I am Matt, the NFL fanatic. Please check me out on Matt, the NFL fanatic on YouTube and Matt, the NFL fanatic, the Facebook page. And I'm glad to be here with three other prognosticators: Hatbox, Gio Knows, and Dante. And forgive me, I always forget how to pronounce your last name. Calarco, or so? I'm sorry. I did say your last name?
It's Dante Calarco.
Calarco.
Italian.
Okay, thank you.
Calarco.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm first Dante.
Okay, all right, and Dante. So it's great to see everybody. Good to see all you guys.
Great to be here.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah. So, and it's finally here, everybody. It's a bittersweet thing. It's Super Bowl 50. It's the final game of the season, and we got the two #1 seeds in the conference going at it. Broncos and Panthers, third consecutive year, the #1 seeds have gone on to play in the Super Bowl. That's never happened under the current format of the playoffs since 1990. It's really good. So what are all you guys excited to look for in this game? And I'll start with Hatbox. I'll just go that way.
Let's see here. How big of a threat will Greg Olsen be against the Denver Broncos? I don't know. I think Greg Olsen's one of the best tight ends, especially this season. He's still got a little ways to go for best all time, I would say, but he's definitely gonna be my X factor for the entire game. And if they could stop him, I think they could beat the Panthers.
Okay, GM, what about you? What are you most excited to look for in this matchup?
I'm looking to see how Cam Newton does against that Denver defense. I think this defense is better than advertised. I said in my video today that because of all the turnovers that Peyton caused in the first half of the year, their numbers were skewed a little bit. This is a defense that often had to face short fields and gave up some points, but they gave up the fewest yards in the league for a reason, and they stopped Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger, two of the best quarterbacks. They held Roethlisberger to 14 points and Tom to 18 points.
Yes.
Very impressive. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Cam Newton does against this defense. He hasn't seen this defense ever in his career.
Good. And Dante, what about you? What are you most looking forward to?
Well, what I'm looking for. Well, I'm really looking forward to actually being there live.
Yeah, that's right. He's actually going to be activating everybody. So, here.
I'll be tweeting, so if you guys follow me on Twitter at First Down Dante. But I'm actually, I kind of liked what Brandon Marshall said of the Jets. By the way, I love Inside the NFL, and I'm really a big fan of Brandon Marshall's. Even before that, he picked the Broncos for years. But I thought what he said was really good. He says Carolina offense versus Denver's defense, he thinks it's a draw, like even. Then what he worries about is the Broncos offense against the Panthers defense. And that's actually, guys, and maybe you guys can pipe in and let me know, because you guys are better at numbers and statistics.
Sure.
I'm actually worried for Peyton. Like, this is what I will have anxiety starting to set in on Saturday night. That I think Panthers defense is freaking lights out good, and they scare me. And I'm scared for Peyton because, Peyton doesn't throw those darts as tight, like the other younger quarterbacks, the really tight spiral hard balls to intercept. His balls not as fast, and they can be lobby. I mean, he still has a great brain, but I'm just so worried about that. That's what I'm worried about, you guys. I'm worried about that Panthers defense. And
did you just get on the topic of Peyton Manning's lobby balls? Is that what you just said? Just to reiterate, you were on the topic of Peyton Manning's lobby slow balls.
Yeah, I'm worried about, because Peyton's balls aren't as, sometimes when they go far, they're not as
You're
they're
worried
kind
about
of
the
they
ducks.
wobble in the
You're worried
air.
about the ducks, is people they call them, the duck throws he makes.
Well, he still can throw, obviously, but
No, he
they're
can.
not as, when you see
Right,
Cam throw Aaron Rodgers, they're still darting. They're harder to
The
pick off.
velocity, right? You're talking about like velocity, right? But he's in that
Yeah,
perspective.
velocity. That's
Yeah.
a great adjective. Yeah, velocity of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm not worried about our defense going against the Panthers' offense because I think it'll be like a great fight and battle. But what I'm worried, where I think it's a little lopsided, is our offense going against their defense. That's where I'm worried. And you guys tell me what you think. You pipe in, but.
Gio, you can go ahead. I guess
Matt?
I'll go snake way. Gio, you can go ahead and start.
It's all about turnovers. Peyton led the league for most of the season in interceptions. He didn't
17.
play.
Yeah, 17. It was 17, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, but he didn't play for 6 games, and he still is number 2 overall. He came back in that last game, didn't have a turnover. Pittsburgh didn't have a turnover, and in the game against the Patriots, there was that one bad turnover. It wasn't his fault. The one that
right. But that was a controversial, tacky call, right? Depending on.
But my point is, if he doesn't give the ball away, Denver should be able to put points on this defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but over/under on how many times he's going to give the ball away, though.
All he has to do is to limit the turnovers to maybe 1, and that defense in the second half will give him a chance to chip away at any lead Carolina might have. They've blown so many leads in the second half all year. That's what I see happening. I see Carolina slight lead in the first half, and then Denver coming back.
Absolutely.
No.
Okay. Yeah,
Jack,
I agree. I think from what I heard with Carolina is actually that they can actually tie the largest turnover margin in postseason history of the plus-minus. I think if they don't have a turnover in the game and they force them at another 2 or 3, they actually can tie the largest turnover differential in a postseason in NFL history. In the game against Arizona, they actually forced the most turnovers in a postseason game since the 0-1 divisional round with Brett Favre and the Packers when they took on the Rams.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was the second most in about 15 years. The Cardinals committed 7 turnovers last Sunday, or the Rams committed 8, or the Packers committed 8 turnovers. So that's how ball hawking this defense is, in my opinion. So.
All right, so over/under on how many turnovers Peyton's going to have. Do you think it's going to be 0, or do you think it's going to be more than 1?
I'm going 2. I have 2. I'll say 2.
Gio?
I say Peyton has 0 turnovers. They might fumble the ball. Maybe a receiver might fumble the ball.
But you don't think Peyton's going to commit any? So okay, fair enough. Okay. And Dante, we just asked over under how many turnovers do you think Manning is going to commit in the game?
I hope none.
Right.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Gio.
And I think we lost her.
Did you freeze? Oh wait. Okay. Or there's some.
No, not running. He always turns over the ball.
Okay.
Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Yeah, we can. Okay.
Am I back? Okay, I'll just move to the dog. To read what I said, or
It's kind of going. It's kind of going.
frozen?
It's kind of like you're kind of lagging in and out a little bit. Let's see. No, but I guess we can hear you a little bit better. But okay, that's a little bit better, I guess. Or let's see. There you go. It's moving a little bit.
Oh,
There you go.
I think I have HughesNet and I hate it, so I have bad internet.
That's all right.
So, can you guys hear me? Did you hear what I said about the turnovers, or did you want me to repeat it?
Okay, so you said none, I believe, from what we had heard, right? You said you don't think Payton will commit any, but but somebody else might, right? That's
Someone else might, like Ronnie Hillman, who likes to drop balls or fumble. But I think Payton knows that this is his last game, and I think Payton has studied that defense like you don't guys like know in San Francisco. And you know, like base players. And tell you, defense and them. So I have introvert.
okay. So
The Broncos.
yeah.
What do you think, Matt, about the Panthers defense?
The Panthers defense is proven to be one of the best in the league. They have the best front seven, I believe. You know, again, it's debatable between the Broncos and the Panthers, but I believe there's a little bit better. Even though Thomas Davis, you know, is playing or is going to play with a broken arm, I believe, broken forearm, which is insane because I think he broke that about 2 weeks ago, right? One of you guys can help me out with that.
Yeah, broke it during.
What was that? Say that one more time.
Thomas Davis broke his forearm 2 weeks ago, right? And he's expected to play.
Against the Cardinals, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Jared Allen's going to play too, and he broke his foot. So having those guys back in any kind of capacity will help. I just think the one thing that Payton will have to do is can he throw a deep ball in the secondary, because they have matchups they like in the secondary besides Josh Norman. Norman and Thomas are going to have a good battle, two of them.
Yeah, but Josh Norman's, I think, overrated. Everyone always talks about, he's the best person in the league because he's the Richard Sherman of this season.
Yeah.
I think is what we would put it at. But he's been around. How many seasons has he been in the league?
I believe this is his second or third. I believe.
Because I want to say the year that I think this was 3 or 4 years ago, Atlanta was playing against Carolina, and that was also their undefeated season when they started off 8-0, and their first loss actually came to Carolina. Or no, they actually won the first game against Carolina, but the play was like a 40-yard, 50-yard bomb to Roddy White against Josh Norman, and Roddy actually caught it and got us into field goal range, which we ended up winning that game. I think we moved on to 8-0 after that.
Yeah.
Let me actually see.
Yeah, no, I have it right here. He was a fifth-round pick in 2012.
So just about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, and he's been this good for about maybe almost 2 years, maybe 2 years.
Hey, quiet! Hands off!
So he's been in the league for about 4 or 5 years, or 4 years now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Gina, do you think Norman's overrated?
I think he's a pretty good player. I think Peyton Manning's probably his maximum distance is about 30 yards. So
okay.
I don't think he's going to be tested very deeply, and it's just because Manning's 39 and he's had neck surgeries and not so much how good the defender is. It's just that Manning is limited. He's still smart enough, though. He'll throw the ball when he has to, even if it's a split second ahead of time. He's done it for so long. He knows what he's doing.
Okay. And Dante, I guess what are your thoughts on Josh Norman? Do you think he's a bit overrated? Do you think he's as touted as he should be? Or
sorry, Matt.
I was asking Dante. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dante. Go ahead.
I think Josh Norman is good.
Yeah, we can hear.
Can you hear me?
Just fine.
I think Josh Norman is really good. I don't think he's as good as Chris Harris Jr. I think he is a little overrated. Just so you guys know, I'm not a fan of that guy. I do not like Josh Norman. I think he has a mouth on him. Something's wrong in his head. I've said this on my show. He got in a fight with Cam Newton at training camp. He's a dark soul. I don't like him, and so I think he's overrated. And I hope he doesn't catch any of Manning's ball. I hope he's just. I think he just has an ego, and I just think he's scrappy, and the way he tried to. You know what he does on the field is he does mind tricks. He talks shit to the other players to psych them out. And Julio Jones is known not to like talk on the field. And Josh goes and he just tries to do that, and he's just a little punk. So I hope that he goes against Demaryius Thomas, and Demaryius Thomas just boxes his butt out and gets him. Because I think he needs to be shown, he needs a little spoonful of humble pie.
But that's a lot like Richard Sherman. Same context, kind of believe. And ironically, Sherman was kind of in that same position. Sherman was in that same position against Thomas back a couple years ago, I believe. So it's kind of the same kind of context.
I didn't like Richard Sherman either back then until I found out all this great stuff. All the players. Remember, I'm a girl, you guys. I come from this as an emotional.
Fair enough.
I'm like the estrogen of the group.
Hey, Gavin. And there's what's that? Gavin, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what are your thoughts on the big game, and I guess what are your thoughts on Josh Norman and as a corner? Gavin, could you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on Norman?
Yeah, if the Broncos don't throw it to him a lot, then, they'll leave him out of the game.
Fair enough, but do you think that Manning can take advantage of the other parts of the secondary, or not?
Huh?
Do you think Peyton can take advantage of the other secondary guys?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
That was some good insight, Gavin. Thank you for your input.
Absolutely, thank you. So one interesting thing that I guess.
Thank you for your 0-4 week, Chris.
I did go 0-4 last week. I can't hide from that. That was a terrible week.
That's tough.
It was bad last week. It's kind of like it's the teams you want to see, so that's who you're gonna pick. And I let my guard down last week and took the teams that I wanted to see in the Super Bowl. And
yeah,
of course
the Cardinals never had a chance.
The opposite happens. So.
Yeah, sorry, Gavin. Carson Palmer let you down, but I guess.
I think Gostkowski let the Patriots down.
Well, that's a different perspective though. But I don't think that was the sole reason they lost. But I think one interesting thing is that everybody wants to talk about Peyton in his final game, and I guess I'll throw this out to everybody.
Can I say something?
Yeah, what's up, Gavin? Go ahead.
Do you really think he's going to go to the Rams, or do you think he's going to retire?
No, he's going to retire. He's not going to the Rams. He couldn't.
I know he's not, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Retire.
Yeah, so my thing is that what does a win and a loss do to Peyton's legacy in the NFL? And I'll start with a loss. I'll start negatively, I guess. What do you guys all think? I'll start Hatbox. If Peyton loses this game,
he's gone. He's gone. He can't.
But what is his perception? I guess. Are we going to look at Peyton as still?
Oh, absolutely. So, all right. So let's look at it as he's one of the best quarterbacks to play on the field. Okay, but when it comes to Super Bowls, he only has one. Is that right? He only has one.
He would be 1-3, and he would have a losing postseason record. Right now,
that's more than a lot of people.
Yeah, so if he loses, I think he goes out with a kind of bad persona, but he still
has 1 out of 49 Super Bowls. That's pretty good.
He still is one of the best.
Okay. Or Gio, what do you think?
Absolutely. If he loses, he's still considered one of the best. I mean, 4 Super Bowl appearances, not too shabby. You can't blame the loss that Denver had against Seattle on him. That was a total team effort. You know, he had very close to the same amount of yards as Seattle did in that game. Just the whole team fell apart. And Seattle, they were special that year. I always thought that the Saints got very lucky that one game. He did throw an interception that cost them the game.
Tracy Porter, Tracy Porter.
That was I used to call that team the real Riverboat Gamblers. That defense was kind of like what I saw from the Rams. Remember when the Rams had the greatest show on turf?
Yeah, absolutely.
All they had to do was pick off one pass once a game, and they would simply outscore the other. And that's what unfortunately happened. 4 Super Bowl appearances? Come on, that's fantastic.
Okay. And Dante, what do you think if Peyton loses this game? What do you think his legacy will shape into, or what do you think people will push about him?
I think his legacy will be fine because of all of the records he's broken and stuff. But I think we'll hear that the narrative the media and the NFL, they like to. A lot of them, I don't think they seem like Peyton haters. But I think people will always talk about that. Unfortunately, I think that will always haunt Peyton with his narrative instead of. But human nature, people always like to focus on the negative. It just depends. I hope it wouldn't tarnish his record but I think that going to the Super Bowl 4 times and winning it once, I think it's gonna. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna follow him. I don't think it should, but I think it's going to.
Okay, and then Gavin, what do you think? If he loses this game, how does his legacy change, or does it change at all to you, or does it?
Yeah, going 1-4 in the Super Bowl is not very good. I think people would say, "What if he would have won a second?" I think people are going to say that he choked too much in the Super Bowl if he loses this one. They're going to look back and say, "What if he would have won a second?"
Well, see this one I think is not so much on him.
He's more or less proving that he can win another one.
Well, yeah, but it's something where his skill this year hasn't proven that he's been the sole reason why this team has been successful, in my opinion. So I think this is the one where if he struggles, people should expect that. If this was a couple years ago, or even the one in 2009, you could argue that was different because again he was much more in his prime, and I think he was the MVP both years that he got there. So that's different. So, and I guess if Peyton retires, here's a good fun little debate where would you put Peyton? I guess one win or I guess let's go with loss first. If he has only one ring, where do you put Peyton all time in QBs? It's always a good top 5. And I'll start with Gavin. What do you think? If he loses, where is he in your quarterback list? If you could think of all the top quarterbacks that you believe.
Definitely not in top 5.
Okay, so you wouldn't have him top 5. Would you have him top 10?
I think top 15.
Top 15. So you could think of I don't know about that. Gio, what about you? What if a loss? Where do you put Peyton with the quarterback?
I mean, you could already say that Russell Wilson's better than him.
No. As much as big Russell Wilson, I can't say that.
Definitely Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are better than him.
Well, Brady is. I think that's fair. Rodgers, that's tough. Or Gio, what do you think? If with a loss, where do you put him?
all time.
Peyton Manning, guys, is a top 5 quarterback of all time. Top 5 of all time. Like if you had to have one guy, you're gonna have in your top 5. Like to win you one game, say at least in his prime. Come on, if you're not saying Peyton Manning is one of your top 5, I don't know. I've been watching football a long time.
Okay.
And there was years where he was just so better than everybody else. He didn't win these Super Bowls a lot. He only got to 3 of them so far, now 4. Can't blame him for that. He didn't have a lot of good defenses. When Elway won the Super Bowl, he finally had a running game And think of all the really good running backs that Peyton's had. He hasn't had that many, really.
Well, he had Marshall and Edge.
Overrated. You know what? Those two guys.
Marshall Faulk's overrated or Edgerrin James?
I think James was definitely overrated. Marshall Faulk was he had Marshall Faulk for what, 2 years, a year?
Okay, fair enough. All right, that's a good point. Fair enough.
And Marshall Faulk was one of the greatest of all time for sure, but he only had 1 year.
Okay, so Edgerrin James. Okay, so you don't really.
In his rookie year. So I'm just thinking of some of the other quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl. Jeff Hostetler, Len Dawson, Trent Dilfer.
Brad Johnson. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Brett Favre only won 1 Super Bowl. The guy played 1,000,000 years, and he's a top 10 quarterback.
Right, but yeah. So okay, and then what about you, Box?
Top 4.
Top 4. Okay, even with the loss.
Yeah, you got to think that right now I would say he'd be a top 5, but I think he'd fall out of that top 5 spot to like a QB now. So I'd say in the near future, if you had to pick a quarterback, is everyone done going over their where Peyton Manning is?
Well, no, Dante hadn't yet.
All right, well, let her go. I'm gonna say top 5 and just leave it at that. Let her go, and then we'll get on to different subjects.
So Dante, with this probably being Peyton's final game, where would you put Peyton all time in your quarterback list if you had to think? Like, is he top 5, top 10, number 1?
Peyton, I would say, is top 3. And if he wins this game, or when he wins this game on Sunday, he's top 2.
Top 2.
See, yeah, okay, so we have 2 different spectrums here. We have Gavin at top 15.
Brady.
Okay, and then Dante says top 2, and then so there you go, Abba. So what were you gonna say? So Dante put
no way Peyton Manning's better than Joe Montana, Steve Young, Tom Brady.
He's better than Young. I'd put Peyton over Young.
No.
Steve Young, okay, but go ahead, Abbox.
Anyway, so I was saying he'd be a top 5, but he would quickly fall out of that spot. So the next question would be
top 5.
Which quarterback now in the league now? And I think we talked about this during the Thanksgiving hangout.
Yeah.
Which quarterback now?
Number 1, Matt Ryan. Number 2,
do you
Matt Ryan.
see
Number 3,
giving
Matt Ryan. Number 4, Matt Ryan.
Gavin.
giving Peyton Manning or Tom Brady a run for their money, or any of the top 5? And let's throw out Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. Let's look at the younger quarterbacks who haven't won a Super Bowl. So let's say this. Where would you rank the best QB for this season that still has not won a Super Bowl, and Cam Newton's name can still be thrown in there because technically he still has not won a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, Cam, right now, if you had to look, Cam would be number 1. And then probably the best quarterback that had him. Oh, God, that's hard.
Carson Palmer.
Andrew Luck is the next best quarterback.
No, Carson
Palmer.
Yeah,
I probably have to go with that, yeah. I gotta go.
Andrew Luck's not better than Carson Palmer.
This year, no. If you say that this year, fine. But overall, I'd take Andrew Luck. I got to agree with you on that one.
And third, Andrew Luck. And fourth, Touchdown Teddy.
Touchdown Teddy Bridgewater is a pretty good quarterback, too.
But he's not better than Luck.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, he never will.
And then maybe you can throw in Andy Dalton.
No, I can't throw in the Groundhog Day. That was yesterday. I can't throw in the Groundhog. I can't throw in the Groundhog Day quarterback.
So who would you have as your top 10 who hasn't won that top 5 who hasn't won a
So,
Super Bowl yet?
Out of everybody now, well, that's hard. He's not.
Cam Newton's number 1.
I guess Cam.
And then you got Carson Palmer.
No, I guess Cam, Luck, Andrew Luck would be 2.
Carson Palmer.
Gavin, that game was so bad. I don't know if I could put Palmer in that conversation. If you really want to look at overall resumes, I could even put Phillip Rivers.
That's what happened.
Phillip Rivers is like 3.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Chargers went to the championship?
They haven't, but if you look at all the other quarterbacks, he has more of a resume than they do.
Chargers have gone to the championship. They lost. Junior Seau was the player back then.
Yeah, but that was 1994, Gavin. Just for declare, yeah, that was 94. Okay, Phillip, if you want to put Phillip Rivers in there, and then I guess if I had to, I guess Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
I would. If you're talking about
Over
quarterbacks that
Carson
haven't,
Palmer.
Hey, you guys, what about Eli Manning?
he won 2 Super Bowls.
He's won already.
We were talking about
Oh, you're
quarterbacks
saying ones that haven't.
that haven't won. Yeah, I put Alex Smith, and then I probably have to put Romo.
Oh, okay.
No way.
Well, think about it, right? Like if you're talking about quarterbacks,
Romo.
that haven't won a Super Bowl, right? I don't think Jay Cutler's better than those last 5 I mentioned, or Andy Dalton.
Well, the Bears don't make the playoffs ever.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. No, I can put him in my top 5 that hadn't won a Super Bowl. All those other 5 at least have like 2 playoff wins or something. Remember, Gavin Carson has a grand total of 1 playoff win. Just as many as Jay Cutler, just as many as Tim Tebow, just as many as a lot of other QBs with 1 playoff win. So.
And he would have had 2 if he hadn't tore his ACL last year.
Well, again, I don't know. He might have lost anyway. He might have.
We were playing with the 4th-string quarterback. We could have taken a high schooler, for God's sakes.
No, but if you saw that Carolina defense was pretty much still there. I don't know if it would have been that big of a blowout, but So.
All right. Well, let's move on to the actual.
What it looked like when we were playing the Panthers, it looked like the Benjamin Franklin middle schoolers were playing the Carolina Panthers.
You guys looked like a wet towel. You're good in the regular season. You have nothing to talk about in the postseason.
The Cardinals look like the school for the deaf and blind.
It's just like Carolina. If Carolina loses the Super Bowl, they have nothing. What do they have? They have a 15-1 record this season, and they have nothing. All the Panthers fans that talk shit, everyone that was they don't respect us. Well, if you go 15-1 and you don't win the Super Bowl, then what did you really win? Absolutely nothing.
The Panthers are not good. They played the Seahawks. They barely beat them. They almost lost a 31-point.
Okay.
Then they beat them the Cardinals, but anyone could do that. The Jaguars could have done that.
The Falcons beat them, so how?
And during the regular season, they were barely beating the Falcons and the Buccaneers.
You do realize that just 2 weeks earlier, Gavin.
38-0.
Yeah, they shut them out by 38.
Okay, and the Panthers barely beat the Giants. Stuff like that.
He sounds like Logan. He's starting to sound more like Logan as we talk to him.
Yep.
I'm just saying they're gonna have a tough time against the Broncos. That's all.
Nobody said that they weren't gonna have a tough time. We're just saying that.
All right. Well, let's talk about the game then, Gavin. Give me your rundown of what you think's gonna happen.
Go ahead, Gavin.
I think the Broncos are gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to stop Cam Newton and that Wildcat, and then Cam Newton's not gonna have any mobility. They're gonna put a lot of pressure on him. That's something that the Cardinals didn't do. They didn't apply enough pressure, so Cam Newton was just stepping in the pocket and throwing those long passes like Ted Ginn. They're gonna apply the pressure, and then they're gonna have a lot of protection for Manning, so he's gonna throw a lot of touchdowns. So they're gonna find a way to stop Cam Newton.
I haven't gotten to see the Panthers all season, but wasn't like last year and 2 years ago they were running was the read option and the Wildcat. I feel like they've moved away from that this season though. Am I wrong?
I think that they've.
They ran that one play to Ted Ginn Jr. against the Cardinals.
Okay, one play.
I think they maybe got rid of the read. They've weaned off the read option, but they still have a lot of designed runs for Cam Newton.
For him, but he's using his arm now, which is what.
Or he's using more of his arm than his legs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's going to happen. I think the Cardinals secondary wasn't able to stop his arm, but the Broncos secondary will.
But you think how far of a drop off is the Broncos secondary compared to the Cardinals? It's not that much of a drop off.
Yeah, it is. The Cardinals secondary without Tyrann Mathieu, it was
okay.
Nothing.
Besides him, okay. I'm not saying he's all right. Fair enough.
I think the Cardinals DBs can match up against the Broncos.
Are we talking about the Cardinals?
DBs.
They're out of it. We're talking about the Panthers.
Yeah, but still, the Cardinals cornerbacks and their secondary, they're deep guys. We can say
Justin Bethel was nothing. He looked like
that they are closely related
out there.
to the Broncos defense, to their set of cornerbacks and safety.
The way they want to play.
Bethel had nothing for Ted Ginn.
Right.
True.
So. And then,
all I'm saying is that the Broncos secondary is going to find a way to stop Cam Newton's arm, and then the Broncos secondary, the Broncos defensive line is going to apply a lot of pressure, and Cam Newton's just going to have a hard day.
again, I think both. See, my number is. I guess we can just go through. I guess score. I have it 21-17 Carolina. That's mine. What do you guys have?
Whoa. Okay. Rewind that just a little bit, all right? Now, give me a rundown of what you think's going to happen. Like, is it going to be a blowout? Is there going to be a game-winning drive? Is there going to be a game-winning pick six? A game-winning, like, give me like a good rundown.
I'll put it this way: it's going to be it's going to be an offensive and defensive struggle. I see either one or two things happen. Either Cam's going to lead them down to a touchdown-winning drive, or Josh Norman's going to pick off Manning, and it's just going to be like Port.
All right. So, what did you say your score was again?
21-17.
That's
Carolina.
low. See, that's low. I think.
But, do you
Hey,
really
just steal the script from the NFL and then bet a lot of money on it.
No, but do you really think that those defenses are going to give up more money than that, or money? give up more points?
I think this Super Bowl is going to be all about big plays, explosive plays. I will be upset if there's no more than 5 or 6 explosive plays.
Okay. Or Gio, what did you have? Or didn't you tell me it's like your score was about the same as mine?
Yeah, his score's low.
Gio, you were 20 for 17.
20-17, but I have Denver winning this game.
Okay. And I guess
who's your MVP?
Cam. I have Cam.
They're going to give it to the game-winning quarterback. They're going to give it to him, even if he goes 0 for 20 and Denver wins 2-0. They'll still give it to Manning. I guarantee it.
If Denver wins, they're going to give it to Manning. It's the only, I think, appropriate. I guess the only appropriate thing to do.
I made a prop bet on Peyton Manning. I'm so convinced that it's, and I know Billy.
Oh, dude, we should do those prop bettings.
Yes.
What's the coin flip going to be?
Remind us of the prop.
How many times will they show the Golden Gate Bridge?
You know what? I meant to do them. You reminded me, but I forgot.
Oh, that's funny, Gavin.
Anyways, my point is this. I think that the fast linebackers of Denver are going to be able to contain Cam and that read option of his, forcing him to throw. And that's
sorry, Gio, I gotta go, but thank you guys.
Okay.
No problem.
And that second, the secondary of the Denver Broncos will take care of the rest.
Okay.
Von Miller will spy Cam Newton all game, and I think he'll sack him a couple of times. I think Peyton will get sacked several times. I like the sacks over 5.5 as another prop bet I like, but I think ultimately
I can see that.
The Denver Broncos linebacking core is as fast as Kuechly and the Carolina linebacking core.
Yeah, but I guess my thing is and here's another stat that I found or that I know of. This is the largest gap between starting quarterbacks in terms of age. There's a 13-year difference between Peyton and Cam. And I just feel that I understand what you're saying is that both teams are going, like both quarterbacks are going to struggle and they're going to get sacked a lot and they're going to be pressured. But if I had to say who's going to throw the football better, I'm going to say Cam's going to throw the football better against the Broncos defense than Peyton will against the Panther defense. That's just what I think is going to happen.
He just about 30 times, go 22 for 30, and that should be enough. Pound the rock and let the defense take care of the rest. That's a great defense, guys. Don't underestimate how good Denver's defense is. Defenses win championships. That's why Manning never won that many. You can say whatever you want about Brady, but those defenses that he had were always really good. Nothing, no Hall of Famers or very few, but everybody on that defense was really good and well coached. And this is by far the best defense that Manning's ever.
All right. So wait a second. Are you overlooking the Panthers defense then?
No, they're very good, but they're especially good at taking the ball away. And if you take away those takeaways, they're still a very good defense, but they're not the same league as Denver's. They're not.
Now that's a bold statement, I'd have to say right there. Who's going to have more takeaways, the Broncos or the Panthers?
I think it'll be very low. You know, in that game that your Atlanta Falcons beat them?
Yeah, I think that score was, 20-13, 24-14, 24 to 17, something like that.
They each had one turnover, okay? Carolina didn't win the turnover battles. The last game before that Carolina lost was against my Vikings last year. In that game, Minnesota had no turnovers. If you limit the turnovers, Carolina can be beaten.
Let's see.
I'm just saying. That's true for every team. No team was even close to Carolina in turnovers. They had plus 20, and the next best team was Kansas City at plus 14.
All right, and I remember there was a great stat that I heard was that the game that Denver had against San Diego, where I think they committed 5 turnovers themselves that game. Again, they weren't on Brock's fault, but they won that game with a -4 turnover differential. So they have that mentality that they have to, if they do turn the ball over, that they can win a game. I guess
San Diego, though, is one of those teams that sort of bucks every trend.
Fair enough. So yeah, I just remember that though, and I thought maybe that could be effective, or maybe that gives them a little bit of confidence if that happens. But again, I do think that the turnover battle will be a good amount of turnovers.
Don't forget, something that we haven't mentioned yet. Just because Carolina's favored in this game doesn't mean they're going to win and or cover. The favorites are 3-10-1 against the spread in the last 14 games at Super Bowls. Last year was a push because there was a pick'em game. They're only 6-7-1 straight up in the last 14 years. It doesn't mean that the home team, the favorite, is going to win and or cover. As a matter of fact, if you're a betting man, take Denver in the points at least.
Well, I think here's the only other advantage that I do remember was that the last time the Broncos won the Super Bowl, they had the #1 offense going into the game. And I think points per game in most categories, just like Carolina is this year. They have the #1 offensive points per game.
And who had the #1 defense in that game?
Seattle did. Denver does this time.
Won that. Seattle going away. So it's the roles are reversed.
Right, exactly right. So I think that is a factor, right? And I do believe that the Broncos have motivation because they don't want that last thing to re-happen again. And I know for Dante, she doesn't want to see the Broncos get blown out again.
I'm raising my hand so if I can talk.
Yeah, good.
I want to raise my hand. Can I talk?
Yeah, sure, good. You were doing a bunch of different things.
Oh, I know, but I actually love listening to you guys because you guys know all these numbers and analytics, so I learn a lot from you guys, so I love all that. And I love listening because you guys have a different perspective and you guys are so well versed in it. But I just want to tell you, I've been following the Broncos for years and years and years. I am on that. I know these players inside and out. And let me tell you, these guys on the defense, they are gritty and they are all heart. You got Trevathan, Brandon Marshall. You have T.J. Ward, Darian Stewart, Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, then Derek Wolfe, Malik Jackson, Antonio Smith, Darian Stewart. These guys are tough mofos. They are a group. They love each other. They fight for each other. And let me tell you, they're going out on Sunday, balls out. They will fight. I'm telling you, this is a very tough defense. They don't care. They know they're the underdogs. They know the point spread in Vegas. It gives them a chip on their shoulder. I'm telling you, the defense is going to go, they're going to go crazy. I'm telling you. Now, I told you I worry about our offense, the Broncos.
Yeah.
But don't think for a second, those boys, they love each other, and that's why the Seahawks were so successful, because they have a real brotherhood. Those guys love each other, and they play for each other. And Broncos, over the years, have they've kind of come to fruition into this brotherhood where they're playing for each other and not playing for their contracts or what's going on. They've had other distractions. They are focused, and even Deion Sanders on media night, he made an observation when they all came out and were introduced. He goes, I'm observing something not that the Broncos said, but the way they're walking, the way they're carrying themselves. I mean, they are focused and dialed in, and they are hungry. Like, I'm telling you, watch out. those boys come into play.
But I think you could argue the same thing that the Panthers have a family mentality. If you look at what's happened over Carolina over the past year, remember Ron Rivera's house burned down. Cam Newton was involved in a car accident that could have changed him. And the Panthers have that mantra of I believe they say they keep pounding. And I think every game, and I think maybe they have that giant drum that like somebody just pounds. And they just have that mentality kind of the same way that all those guys are going to keep pounding and just going to continue, their way of football. And I believe the Panthers have that family atmosphere as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers also have
I
the
think
us
they
against
do.
the world package going for them.
Good point. So what were you saying now? Sorry? Go ahead.
The funny thing is, the Panthers are one of my favorite teams, but not this week. So, but they do. But you have to remember, I think experience. A lot of those players. I listened to the Seahawks players that played their first Super Bowl, and that's what they worry about. The analysts say that the Panthers, when you get out on the Super Bowl field, like you start to hyperventilate. This is what the Seahawks players, it's a different vibe, so they have to learn to control that. I think they're a young team, and but I still go back to Josh Norman fighting with his quarterback in August. I mean, doesn't seem very family oriented to me. I think there's some jealousy there.
I thought that was more competitive gamesmanship from what I had heard from those two guys. That's what I had thought.
But they said Cam Newton was the only one smiling coming out of a fight, though.
Fair enough.
Listen,
wait, let me see if I can actually find a picture and share it. Yeah.
You guys, I'm the girl here, so the girl, I see things and I observe. And let me tell you, when they introduced the NFC champions on Media Day, I saw Cam and Josh Norman interact, and Cam blows him off. Like Josh was trying to do something. There's tension there, I'm telling you.
All right.
That's my girl perspective.
I didn't watch that part of the Media Day. I thought that was interesting. That's interesting. But I just think it's something where you have the underdog story of the Broncos the entire year because they've essentially been underdogs pretty much the entire postseason for the most perspective. Maybe besides Pittsburgh where they didn't have Antonio Brown or anybody and people expected you to win off the defense, even though that game was a lot closer than anybody thought. And Ben threw for 300 yards, which he's the only quarterback to do that on this defense the entire year, twice. So,
let's see if I can. I found the actually really good picture here. Let's see how this works with screen share.
Okay.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Look at him smiling. Look at him. He's looking in his eyes. They're happy. They're beautiful. He is smiling when he's in a fist fight. That's brotherhood right there. If you're not fighting with your brother, then you have a sister.
I saw the fight go down live. It didn't seem like a brotherhood to me. I'm just telling you, I actually love Cam Newton. He's been my unsung hero on my show. I don't have a problem with him, but you know how I feel about Josh Norman. But I do feel that there's tension between those two. That's just my observation.
Fair enough. But my interesting thing is I want to see what happens, and I guess this is a good question for you. If they don't win this game and Manning goes, how much pressure is now put on Brock Osweiler?
None.
I think there's a lot more pressure.
Listen, Osweiler threw one more touchdown than Manning did, and I'm pretty sure Osweiler played in less games than Manning this season.
Yeah, but it's just something where, to me, if he doesn't win this game, Peyton, this whole contract will be a failure. In my opinion. Because John Elway brought Peyton Manning in to win a Super Bowl. And if that doesn't come to fruition, now they're going to have to trust Brock, who's only entering his 8th game if he starts. And that's just something that I wouldn't want to, that's a lot of pressure.
How does 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years? How is that a failure? I mean,
He didn't win. He didn't win it.
Plus, no, you're assuming he's not going to win. There, a lot of this conversation, Matt, is about, well, what if Manning doesn't win? Well, what if he wins? We can't.
That's what I'm saying. But
about the what ifs. I mean, it's
right. If he wins, it's a whole different perception because now that
you play to win the game.
Right. 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 And that's the thing, right? Is that to me, if he does not, I'm not saying he isn't. If he does not, there's going to be a whole different perception about Brock's, status and what he needs to do.
Cross that bridge when we get there.
Fair enough.
Another storyline that I know. Okay, wait. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted you to speak on. Gio, will you talk about your other theory? The one that you talked about in your show. Tell everyone. I love your theory about Vegas, and is that what you were just going to say?
I was going to say something else, but all year long, we've had a running joke on the Facebook forum about what's called the 702 call.
Right. 702.
For those watching, is the area code for Las Vegas. And some games that just you scratch your head, how did that happen? They got the 702 call. Or any other a better game to talk about, that last Super Bowl, when they didn't hand the ball off to beast mode, they passed it instead. New England made why did they call that play? Well, they got the 702 call. Well, that's the joke. But if you follow the money, Vegas doesn't like to lose money. And if you're a conspiracy guy like I am, one of the reasons why I think the Super Bowls have been covered at least, and won mostly, the last 14 years by the dog, is because the public bets on the favorite. They've always bet on the favorite, and they've only covered 3 of the last 14 against the spread. I don't know. Sometimes you wonder if Vegas doesn't, have something to say about it. I'm just saying.
Right. No. And there's always a part of me, like I'm looking at the last several Super Bowls, and most of them have been close over the last, several years for the most part. Since let's see, 01 you had the Rams, that was a field goal, or 01 you had the Patriots, that was a field goal. 02 was a blowout. 03 and 04 were about field goals. 05 was a close one.
No, but what I'm saying is that, close or not, the dog covered.
Okay.
Almost all the time, and the dog has actually won the game more times than the favorite. So forget the line, guys and girls. Forget the line. Who's going to win the game? Who's the better team? That's what you have to go. What I'm going to say and I think there's something to be said about the shenanigans that happened. I'm just saying. But another storyline that we haven't talked about is Broncos owner Pat Bowlen is very sick. He's not going to be making this game. He won't be there. And in my video, I said, you remember that famous "this one's for John" thing? Why did John is going to hold the trophy and say this one's?
Yeah. No, I do. Right, but I think that's been the rallying cry, this entire year since Peyton's gone through this injury.
That's the rallying cry. It's "this one's for Pat." That's what John Elway is going to walk into that dressing room 20 minutes before the game. He's going to show him that clip. He's going to say, "This is what my boss did for me. We got to do it for him. We've got to."
Right. And also for Peyton Manning.
And for Peyton. I'm getting goosebumps.
And DeMarcus Ware.
Okay.
DeMarcus. Yeah, but DeMarcus. Well, but DeMarcus and Peyton kind of are on 2 different levels, and I think they're on 2 different positions. But I do get what you're saying, though. It will be nice for DeMarcus Ware.
I mean, Cam Newton's got 10, 12 good years ahead of him. He's going to get a ring or 3. I think the better story here is for the NFL, let the Broncos win it. I'm just saying.
Okay, go ahead, Dante. You have your hand up. So.
I just want to let you guys know that 18 years ago, I've only been to 1 Super Bowl in my life, and that was when the Broncos beat the Packers in '98 in San Diego.
Okay.
So that was the last Super Bowl I've ever been to. I mean, I've only been to 1. That was that one. and I saw John Elway win, and they were the underdogs in San Diego. And now I'm going to my second Super Bowl of my whole life. Broncos are in it in California, and it's like Peyton's in John Elway's kind of position. So maybe
yes.
Good luck.
Maybe you're the good luck charm, and if they make it back next year, you should go to Houston, and so on and so on. You could become a little bit of a folklore, and I think that again, it's something where it's a Hollywood ending that everybody wants to see, including me. I think everybody here would love to see Peyton Manning go on top because he deserves it. But it just when you look at the game on kind of just that analytical, it's hard just to say with the Panthers team and what they've been able to do, and the Broncos, and they've done a lot of great things too. It's just hard not to say that Carolina just did a little bit more in them for this game, and because that's the thing. I know that the Panthers players said they don't care about this is Peyton's last game. They're going in to win it just as hard as they are.
Well, what are they going to say?
Uh,
That's the only thing they can say. They don't care about that. Of course not. But honestly, I think the Denver Broncos players have a lot more to rally for than Carolina. Simply, this is a game of one with your heart a lot of times too. And I think.
I think the Panthers.
Rudy.
Yes.
One more thing. One more little note I wanted to say is the referee is going to be what's his name?
Blakeman.
Yeah, and I think Billy B posted in the forum that the Broncos are 5-0 since 2010, straight up with as their. No, I'm just saying.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Even though, hey Chris, I thought of a great promotional poster, right? And I know you. Okay, so. I guess you guys know about, I don't know if Dante, about the new, Batman Superman movie that's coming out that everybody's excited for?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Right. So, okay. So, if you could, this would be awesome, right? Could you make something that says Payman versus Supercan?
I could.
But don't you think it's pretty good, or pretty good, play on words? Peyton
I think so. I think I saw one online that was Peyton Manning as the sheriff shooting Supercam, and I think Billy B posted it.
No, but I like Payman versus Supercam. Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, and Peyton Manning could be Batman, right? And Supercam. So, yeah, that'd be awesome if you could make that. That'd be pretty cool. If you find that.
I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's interesting because to me, and I guess here's an interesting thought. Maybe what have your thoughts been about Cam Newton's comments over the week, or I don't know about him being a different kind of QB? I don't know. Have you guys heard about those comments? And
yes.
Do you think he needed to make?
He's
Do you think he needed to make those, or do you think that
I didn't hear the comment, but he is a different quarterback. He's not the same guy. He's not. He's going to rely on that very big fat head of his more than he ever did. And
right.
That's just the way it is. He's just got to be extra smart. He has to play pretty well flawless football. And if he does, and he lets Denver's defense take care of the rest, he's going to get another ring.
No, he will. But I just thought that was interesting that he made that comment because I thought that was a very big comment to make right before the game, because that was pretty much going to talk this entire week, or one of the big talking points that he made.
Reiterate what he said for me.
I think I have it here. It's like he said that I'm an African American quarterback, and that scares a lot of people, or that could scare a lot of people.
Oh my God! See, I knew that was going in that direction. Gio, you had no idea that was going in that direction. You thought, that's what I thought kind of comment it was, and it's people just try to play race. It's so stupid.
Okay. Because I just thought that was a interesting time to do that, because I was like,
Matt, we had somebody today post on the Facebook page that Cam Newton is for the 4th time in a row. Blah blah blah. Is going to be the NFC African American quarterback. And I posted afterwards as well. For the 50th time in a row, both the AFC and NFC are going to have quarterbacks there for the human race, and that's what they are. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted your guys' thoughts on that because I thought that was a very unique time.
I don't.
Honestly,
2016. Are we still doing that?
Down here in America, yes, we are. It happens every day.
Yeah, we are. Or Dante, what are your thoughts? Because Gio with these issues, it's always interesting when we have these hangouts because he's from Canada and he has a completely different perspective.
There is none of that here. Look,
Exactly.
My wife is from Colombia, South America. Half the people, well, not half, 75% are white, 25% are black. There is nothing like that, like there is in America. I don't understand you guys' infatuation with color. You're the only country in the world that.
Yeah, we know. Why?
what? I honestly,
Good, Dante, good.
No, Gio, finish his sentence.
Good, Gio.
Gio,
I was going to say, my white brother-in-law, his wife is black. That is so common down there. No one bats an eye. I have another brother-in-law. He got a black girl pregnant. He has a son who's half white, half black. No one ever says anything about that. Only you guys. We don't get that.
I think we're getting more used to that, the mixed perspective. I think we're getting more. I think is that fair? We're getting more comfortable, I guess, with that. Fair enough.
Yeah, but it's people living in the past that's gonna make us redo it. If makes sense.
Well, if that's the case, fine. But you know what? This is a football game. It's not a race war.
Right. But see, that was interesting because to me, I was just surprised because that was such a big topic to have right before the game. That'd be something I wouldn't want to say, or I wouldn't have said, just because. Good. Yeah, Dante.
When I heard that, I was like, I swear to you guys, because I was not raised to look at people. I mean, honestly, I never, ever looked at Cam Newton as an African American, swear to you. Honestly, my eyes were just, he's great. I love what he does with kids. I never looked at it until he brought it up.
Right.
Then I was like, oh, I'm serious. I never even think, I mean, I was raised in California, so it's a little more, but I don't see people that way.
Right.
I really don't. I think he did that on purpose. I think he did that to get attention.
Yeah, and again, there were a lot of people that there were yeah, no, but that's the thing though, is that we all, I guess besides you, we all hope that in our country that we've moved on from this. But I guess also just for a little sidebar, remember, I guess there's the huge Oscar controversy as well. Fair enough,
Oh
you guys know
God,
about
it was so lame. Yes, it's stupid. I've tweeted about it.
Well, okay, but that one's a little bit different. But good. Yeah. So, but I guess like you guys said, right, this is good.
Wah, wah. I mean, come on. Are we still doing that? We're still playing that card? Come on. It's 2016. They want attention. I'm serious. That's so dumb. People don't care. I mean, you get voted for what your performance is.
True.
Anyways.
That's a good point.
I don't look like that. So I think, can I say something? I think that the game, this is thoughts on the game on Sunday. I really think it's going to come down to the turnovers.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees with. Yeah, it's going to come down to the turnover battle, and it's going to come down to if Cam can, or if just one team can just make one more play than the other. That's every football perspective. Even though I'm one of those kind of people that, like, with Kubiak, it's kind of frustrating for me because as a Ravens fan, after everything you said this past offseason about how he wasn't going to leave and he left anyway, Yeah, so that's.
Aww. Oh, can you blame him?
Well, I can, yeah, because he told. Yeah, I can, yeah. He told the media. He told our media that day that he wasn't looking for a job. If he had never said that at all, I wouldn't have any resentment to it. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, but
not say I.
he wasn't looking. They came to him and offered him the head coach of the Broncos. Who wouldn't take it? Come on.
But also But also, I could argue that was a nepotism hire. Fair enough.
You're funny.
Well, it is a nepotism hire.
That's what life is about. If I want to be an NFL reporter on the sidelines, everyone tells me, Dante, you have to know someone. You have to know someone.
But that's the problem. But that's a problem.
Well, honey, that's always going to be. It's always going to be like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying though. Is that I have that perspective of with Kubiak is that yeah, if he had never said that to us just the day before, I would have been okay with him leaving because I would understand it. But it's like, don't tell us.
Yeah.
You know.
But the Ravens had a bad season because of all the injuries. You guys got plagued with injuries. It was just bad luck.
Well, but Kubiak's better than Trestman. If you want to get enough, I'd rather have Gary Kubiak as an offensive coordinator than Mark Trestman. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know about Mark.
He's not good.
We got 5 minutes. Let's wrap it up with final comments and final scores, final predictions for MVP again. Gio, what did you say your score was again?
My score is Denver 20, Carolina 17. My MVP is Peyton Manning. If the Carolina Panthers win, sorry, Dante, I know that's your team, but I like Cam Newton a lot, and I have a lot of respect for Rivera. It wouldn't be, as a fan, I wouldn't mind either way, but I'm cheering for Peyton.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, Dante, what's your score, Super Bowl MVP, and winner?
Well, I think it's going to be really tight. I think it can go either way. I know that Broncos are facing a 17-1 team, and they are outstanding in every part, special teams, offense, and defense, and it's going to be hard. Denver has to play their best ball Sunday to win. Of course, look, I'm never going to go against my heart and my team, so I say Broncos. And I kind of agree with Gio's score, somewhere around there, low scoring. And I think the MVP, I don't know. I mean, you think it will go to Peyton, but I think it's going to be a defense guy on Broncos if we win. I don't know. Maybe like Von Miller or DeMarcus Ware, something like that.
As long as it's not the eye poker, I don't care who wins MVP for the defense.
You don't want the Three Stooges to win? You don't want one of the three?
No, man, every time I see him talk, he just upsets me. Like, he's like all like pompous ass almost. Like, that's just how he comes off to me. But every time I look at him, I think of the eye poke, and I can't get over that.
Just watch some Three Stooges. You'll have a different perception of the eye poke. But
you're funny.
Yeah. So to me, I guess I'll say mine. I have it Carolina 21, Denver 17. This is going to be a old school defensive battle. These two defenses are going to punish each other. It's going to be brutal out there, but there's just a part of me going, when it comes down to this game, I always go to the quarterback, especially in the Super Bowl. And I just believe that Cam at this moment is just in a better position with his arm, with his legs, which I believe will be the X factor of this game, to win. And I know the Broncos are going to put up a fight, but sometimes, again, you have comedies and tragedies. And I guess for Peyton Manning's career, unfortunately, this seems a little bit more tragic than comedic. That's just my opinion.
Wait, so all three of you are picking the Broncos then?
I took the Panthers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. What I meant to say is that all three of you are taking low-scoring games, right?
Yeah, you're the one that's saying it's going to be like a, shootout, which I do not see happening.
Yeah, true.
I guess what's yours?
I'm gonna go the exact opposite of you guys on the over/under deal. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 30-28.
Wow.
I think the Panthers will win. I'm expecting at least 6 big explosive plays over, let's say, 40 yards. Is that good? Is 40 yards good?
Man, yeah.
6
So
big
20
plays over 40
yeah,
yards.
20 is the number, I think. 20 plus is the number. You get anything
Yeah,
20 plus.
20 plus. Oh, all right. So 20 plus. I want at least 8 big plays, 8 big explosive plays.
Okay, it's from both sides, right? It could be offense or defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I think the Panthers are going to win 30-28, but I definitely think Denver's going to cover. Does anyone know what the live line is right now? What the line is at the moment?
Let me see.
5.5.
It's still 5.5. Or
boards, yeah. Most boards is 5.5. Bodog is 6. Bet 365, which I do most of my betting, is 5.5. Pinnacle, 5 dimes, 5.5.
So, and I believe that was the odds when it started, right? When the line first came out, right? I believe.
It's 4, believe it or not. It opened at 4.
Oh, it was 4. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I'm looking. Yeah, it's still. Yep. I'm looking at it here. Yeah, and I kind of see all these different numbers. Yeah, it's
But I'm still thinking Greg Olson's going to be MVP. I don't know how. I just have a gut feeling. It's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be like, I don't think Cam will get it because Cam hasn't really been throwing touchdown passes lately.
He just has to throw the winning one.
Yeah, that's.
And also, he's the quarterback, so.
Yeah, but think about who won the MVP last year? Was it Malcolm Butler that won the MVP?
Tom Brady. Brady gave Butler the truck.
No.
Oh, okay, that's what it was then.
Yeah. Malcolm Smith won the year before, and then it was Flacco, and then it was Eli, and then it was Rodgers, and then keep going.
Well, I'm gonna say that
Wait,
Greg Olson gets it this year with 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, Matt, or you guys, since you guys know all this stuff, who was the MVP when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl?
Malcolm
Do you
Smith.
remember?
Malcolm Smith.
Okay. Thank you.
He was the 6th round pick. Is now in Oakland.
He won a Super Bowl and he got out of there. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, even though he picked the black hole places. So
there's been a lot of Super Bowl MVPs that had the game of their lives, signed a nice big contract, and just sucked.
My two favorite ones are Desmond Howard and Timmy Smith.
The running back for Washington Redskins.
Yeah, that was his big game. He did nothing else besides that game.
Yeah, he had holes that were 30 feet across to run.
Exactly. Yeah, that was because of the Hogs, right? That was because of his Hogs.
God bless him. He was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. So I believe he won MVP, right? I think he did.
I think so. I think he did.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, very quickly, 75% of the money is still coming on Carolina. That's a bad sign.
If you vote Denver.
So if you want to make some money, I think you should at least consider taking Denver against the spread.
I would take the cover. I still think it would, but I definitely, yeah. Good.
Well, I don't understand all this betting stuff because I don't do it. So what does that mean, Gio?
It means that Las
Vegas,
not that Vegas believes, but they've set a line where Carolina should win this game by 6 points. In other words,
right?
They're handicapping, kind of like in golf. You have a golf handicap. This is a football handicap. So people are being asked, okay, you think Carolina's going to win by 6 or more, or they're going to win?
You'll take the points. Right.
So that's against the spread. That's what most of the money is bet on.
Knows. Right. And then if you take the points, you're saying that either the Broncos are going to win or they're going to lose by 6 points or less.
That's right. And if you take Denver on what's called the money line, because they are 5.5-point dogs, for every $100 you bet, you'll get like $400 back. I don't know what the number is. A very good bet is Denver on the money line. In other words, to win straight up.
Right.
7. They're 7-6. The underdogs are 7-6 in
the last 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good bet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But why do you say it's bad news? I don't
Well, because it's the syndrome of everybody says this, and then this happens.
What happens, Dante, is that the public tends to bet the favorite to win more than they bet the underdog. Obviously, they're the favorite; they're going to win. But then when they handicap it, they still tend to bet the favorite. So Vegas sort of usually wins a bit more money because the underdog tends to cover the spread more.
Or Dante, I'll put it this way: the AFC title game, right? New England was that like the Vegas perspective. Everybody was picking the Patriots. Everybody thought the New England Patriots were going to win the game.
Not me.
But no, but again, you were in the minority, kind of the same context. But it's that same context. Most people thought the New England were going to win, but then it didn't happen. Just like earlier in the year with Hatbox and his Falcons. You know, a couple weeks later. Nobody thought the Atlanta Falcons were going to beat Carolina just 2 weeks
So
after.
all the money went on Carolina, so then Vegas takes it all.
Vegas made all the money, and that's what I'm saying. Be careful about putting your mortgage on Carolina
On the favorite.
Straight up. They might win the game, but there's a very good chance that they'll win it by less than the 5.5 points.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Again, I have it, 4, you have a 2, right, and you have a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
It'll happen.
I have Denver winning the game straight up.
But even if but you still have like a 3-point difference, though. I guess no matter Denver or not.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, I'm taking the points, and I'm actually taking Denver to win straight. A lot of people are taking the points, but still Carolina to win.
Okay,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing too.
Taking Denver.
Yeah, okay.
Alrighty, well. If you guys haven't yet, check out everyone's videos. I think everyone's videos up, aren't they? I think everyone's.
Yep. Yeah, mine's been up now for almost 2 weeks.
Not mine.
Videos up. All right, so we're waiting on one more video.
And remember, send us a lot of pictures. Please send us a lot of pictures.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to? I'll post like a good one, on the page, on the Facebook page. I don't want to overbait the page, but if you guys are, I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but if you are, I'll follow you guys too. But I'm on Twitter. I have a lot of Twitter handles, but my NFL handle is First Down Dante.
Okay.
So if you follow me, I'll follow you back. And I will be tweeting a lot through the whole weekend. And also, if you're on Periscope, I'll be periscoping, and that's House of Squirrels on Periscope.
Yeah, just do us a favor.
If you want to see videos.
Just do us a favor. If they lose, please don't leave your heart in San Francisco. Please don't.
Well, I'm expecting us not to win. So.
Yeah. Thanks to you, I guess, for laughing or getting that reference.
I got it.
Alrighty, guys. Let's wrap it up then, and we should definitely do one of these after the Super Bowl. I think with some reactions.
Like reaction, right?
Absolutely, and then we'll do some in the postseason. We'll see what happens in the off season.
Absolutely, but this was. What's up?
Videos after the season. You post videos after the season.
Yes.
I haven't usually, but I might do a couple this off season. And I actually thought like maybe later in the year or like in March, like when free agency's going on after a few days, we could all get back together and talk about all the moves.
I'm going to make a lot of videos this year, I think.
Absolutely, same here.
Yeah, and then we could do like a draft one, like that perspective, which I think would be good. Yep. So great. So I guess Hatbox had to do something real quick.
Okay, well, I'm going to
go film my video.
Thank you, everyone, for participating, and thanks for watching out there in YouTube land. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
take a chance to join the Facebook page, the NFL Prognosticators. Meet a lot of good people. Okay, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you guys enjoy the game, all right? You guys enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game.
And may the odds ever be in our favor.